Today we have a very, very strong, age-long debate. Who is the GOAT? Who is the greatest? Who is the greatest of all time? Are we going to say it's Messi? Are we going to say it's Ronaldo? And on what metrics are we using to define the GOATs today? We have two great debaters, Godswill and Victor Bisong, who will be supporting their faves today in this debate. I will be maintaining a neutral position in this debate. I rather would just support maybe someone like Haaland for this debate, because both debaters are expected to prove to us at the end of today who we should consider as the greatest of all time based on whatever metrics that they provide in this debate. So not to waste more time, because it's a very strong debate, we'll start right about now. Each speaker has 7 minutes. I'll ask a question for 2 minutes that we will respond to in 2 minutes, and then they will have their rebuttals for 5 minutes before we now go into questions and answers and others that we'll do till the end of the debate. So without wasting much time, Mr. Victor, you have the floor. 7 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So in today's debate, my goal is not to convince Isaac that Messi is the GOAT, because Isaac has joined a cult group that every other Ronaldo fan is in. They do not want to accept the truth. They have taken a stance regardless of very visible realities and facts. Right? So in the debate, my job is to talk to people who are open to listening to the real issues in this conversation and not allow Isaac to play emotional card, which I know is going to play. The very fundamental question in the debate is simple. What qualifies someone to be a GOAT? If we prove to you that all the metrics that qualify someone to becoming a GOAT aligns towards the side of Messi, Lionel Messi, then clearly all the shenanigans of Ronaldo fans would be brought down. Secondly, the idea or concept of the GOAT is not something that is like a recognized title. It is something that people, it's not an official title. So people just sit and say, by virtue of the aggregate of all trophies, all achievements, a certain person qualifies to be the greatest of all times. So the greatest of all times in every sport is someone who has achieved the highest trophies, who has achieved the highest achievements regarding that area of sports, that area of event, right? For instance, the greatest person in the area of debate is someone who has won the most of debate laurels, somebody who has won the most of credible laurels, and someone who stands out as the icon of debate. You cannot claim that you are the greatest of all times when all the trophies available to your own competition has not been won by you. But again, we are not saying you must win all. We are saying amongst everyone that has won something at least, whose own in an aggregate has more weight. The moment we achieve that, then we know that this person is the greatest. You hear funny Ronaldo fans saying that we don't use World Cup to determine who a GOAT is. This person won 2, this person won 3. We agree with them that you cannot use World Cup, you cannot use a single trophy, even if it's World Cup, to determine who the GOAT is. But the conversation is, if you put an aggregate of the World Cup and every other single thing put together, compare it with every other person who has won whatever thing they have won, whose arguments, whose side of this debate has more weight. That is what today's debate is about. Another misconception that we must kill in today's debate is that there's a difference between fanaticism and the greatest of all times. So yes, Isaac and all other Ronaldo fans can hold the opinion that Ronaldo is their best player, that Ronaldo is the player they prefer to watch. But that should not necessarily mean that within the area of football, Ronaldo is the greatest of all times. You can like Ronaldo's chiseled body. You can like the fact that he does not have tattoo on his body. You can like every other thing about him, that he has more following, as Jude will always say. You can like every other thing about Ronaldo. We do not think that there's anything wrong. You can like the fact that he scores goals and does all the things you think he does. But what is important in the conversation today is for us to separate fanaticism and the greatest of all time status. The greatest of all time status does not even require you to like the person. I don't even need to like somebody like Michael B. Jordan. I don't even need to know him for me to know that he's the greatest of all time in basketball, or Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James. These are the greatest in their field. But I don't know so much about basketball, so I cannot clearly say between Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan, this person is the greatest. I can only know that when they bring all their reports, all their stats, and place on the table, then we can clearly say that by virtue of all the stats these guys have, this particular person is the greatest of all time in basketball. This is a fundamental issue that we must separate. So I'm not here to say anybody should stop being a Ronaldo fan. You can be a Ronaldo fan. But in the conversation of who is the greatest in football, the fundamental question should be clearly about who has achieved more, who has more profiles in his CV, and nothing more pretentious, not about anything. Another thing Ronaldo fans would always come to cry about is that the idea of favoritism. But for many, many years, they have not been able to substantiate that particular thing. They say that Messi is somebody who has been favored by FIFA. But the question is, Argentina went on to win the World Cup this year, but get to the finals of the World Cup. Did Argentina's movement to the World Cup finals stop Portugal from going to the finals too? It takes us to prove how Argentina's success is something that stops Portugal from actually achieving their success. This is fundamental in the conversation, and I know that Israel will have something to say. Now, also, we must say that Messi has won football's biggest trophies, right? Right. So for us to say somebody is the greatest of all times, we need to look at what he has actually done, the stage he has actually gone to win the football greatest, biggest trophies. So Messi has won World Cup, which is like the greatest trophy in football, amongst every other thing every other player has won. Right, he has won his national, his continental cup, Copa America. Ronaldo has won his own in Europe. So on that level, they are par. But Messi has something different that this other person does not have, which is fundamentally the fact that he has won the greatest possible achievements that football has to offer. Within this spectrum, we must now see from what these people have won, who is better. But again, let's look at other records that are very important in our conversation today. For instance, Ballon d'Or. Messi has 8 Ballon d'Ors and Ronaldo has 5. When Issa comes here and talks about how this person got his own by robbery, Issa should go online and see how the fact that firstly, these things are voted for. So secondly, FIFA is not the one that actually controls all of these things like vote, and even the France national football do not control the vote. Players and coaches, countries and coaches of national team and other people are the ones that vote in all of this stuff to give somebody the greatest of all, the winner of all of these Ballon d'Ors and all of these trophies. We must understand clearly that is very fundamental. So if you come and say FIFA, this guy is FIFA's boy, clearly FIFA does not have influence on the captain of Arsenal team or on the coach of Arsenal to influence that particular thing. They all bring the people they think are the best. In terms of trophies, Ronaldo has far less trophies than Messi. Messi has higher trophies. But let's even look at trophies from the other side and say, okay, probably Issa will argue that he has been favored. Look at personal achievement in football. Ronaldo has 900 and something goals. Messi has 900 and something goals. Messi has over 400 plus assists. Ronaldo has about 250. So if you do a goal and assist average, you realize that Messi still beats Ronaldo. If you do other statistics, every major statistic in football ignores in the side of Messi. The only thing that favors Ronaldo is the many goals that he has scored. But again, something that you must understand again is the fact that the goals that Ronaldo has scored are a function of over 200 plus matches ahead of the number of matches Messi has played. It means that it is even unfair for you to now use the goals as the metric for determining who you think is the best player or the greatest of all times. So it doesn't necessarily favor your side. But I will conclude because I know that I'm behind time. I don't want to even eat into the 7 minutes. The conclusion is that the only way we can achieve that universal concept of who the greatest of all time is not by sentiment. It is by the report and stats that we have. Messi has more and more and more of these stats ahead of Ronaldo, proudly in support of this position.
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor, for your arguments for Messi. But I do have a question, which I have concerning Messi. So I've noticed in the past, with regards to Barca, Argentina, PSG, and even Inter Miami, Messi has had the system built around him. He has had the likes of Guardiola, who was the coach when he was in Barca. He has had the likes of Iniesta, Neymar, and a few other persons with system largely built. He's the center, while the system is built around him. Do you think Messi would have survived in a system that where the system that was not largely built around him. For example, you find Ronaldo in Portugal, the system is not built around him. You find him now outside, it's not necessarily built around him. You find him, if he finds himself in those kind of positions, is he still going to get to this level of stats that he has already in modern times?
Okay. So the system is not built around Messi. Messi builds the system around himself. If you look at the goals, like go and check the number of goals that Argentina scored in the World Cup in 2022. Messi had 66% of the entire goal in terms of goals and assists. It either he was scoring the goals or he was giving assists. Messi is the greatest creator in history. That is to say, Messi does not rely on Iniesta and all of those people to give him to make him do well. Although the excellence and brilliance of all of these players also helped him. Same as Ronaldo in Real Madrid. Ronaldo in mind you cannot be compared to Ronaldo in Real Madrid because the quality of players in Real Madrid actually made Ronaldo better. He won 4 Champions League in Real Madrid, so you cannot take away the fact that he actually benefited from the quality team. But that is not even the case. Let's look at Argentina team. You can see Argentina has had a good football record in history. But check the current Argentina team between 2022 and even 2026 of this World Cup. You realize that comparatively, you cannot compare Portugal team and Argentina team. What does Messi do? What Messi does is Messi builds a team. Argentina team is an average team. Take out Messi, Argentina team will be dealt with by Norway. But Messi creates a system around himself and ensure that those same players that cannot do anything to help anybody, Messi makes them look like they are world-class players. Who is Molina? Who is Molina that scored Netherlands and took Netherlands out in 2022 World Cup? Those are the things we are talking about. So Messi does not necessarily need a system to favor him. Messi creates a system and benefits from that system that is great. It also affected him in this World Cup. The only match that Messi was marked fully, Messi led the tournament, and which was the finals. Other matches that they allowed Messi to have space, he created the chances and scored all the goals that Argentina used to go to the finals. Ronaldo has not been able to repeat that same system in Portugal that is a better team than Argentina.
Thank you very much for that fine response. The floor is yours, Mr. Isaac. 7 minutes, please, to respond to Victor Bisong's claim.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last thing Victor Bisong says is that Portugal is a better team than Argentina. You can see that the lies, they write themselves, right? It's really, really, really funny, right? And this is like what has characterized the majority of everything that Victor Bisong has been saying since. Lies upon lies, insincerity, ingenuity. He just wants to sound like he knows what he's saying. I'm telling you for free, he doesn't know what he's saying. First off, I would come from there first. So before Lionel Messi entered the Argentina national team, Argentina was ranked second in the FIFA ranking. I'm not saying what it is there. It's the facts are there all over the internet. As I'm talking, if you're online, you could check it. When Cristiano Ronaldo joined Portugal, the Portugal national team, Portugal was 18th in the FIFA ranking. So first off, we have seen how that argument has fallen down. Ronaldo is leaving the Portugal national team with Portugal in number 5, right? But Argentina is still in second place. The same position Lionel Messi met that team is the same position he's leading that team right now. So firstly, Argentina has been a World Cup team right from time. Before Lionel Messi, they've won it twice. So they are not new to it. It's like they are like football heritage. When we're growing up, we know about football. Brazil and Argentina in the World Cup. It's like their tournament. So with or without Lionel Messi, this country has been excelling in this feat. But then after Cristiano Ronaldo came in, for 22 years I have been in the national team. The team has made 4 finals and I've won 3 trophies. So that proves value. I'm trying to prove value of an individual in a team, in a system, right? Because now, and I'll tell you, Victor Opia, listen to this. Look at me. In PSG, Lionel Messi could not win the Champions League. And then Lionel Messi fans like Victor Bisson, they said, oh, that PSG is not a Champions League team. They're not a Champions League team. It's not their heritage. But all of a sudden, they now want to think that argument does not stand, does not work when it concerns the World Cup. Because I think the very next season or so, Dembele and the likes were able to win the Champions League with PSG. So head or tail, you've seen how that argument actually is a very valid one. But then let's go back to the main thing. What I'll be doing to this debate is that I'll be helping our minds, because I feel like for far too long, the media has been on the side of Lionel Messi, painting Cristiano Ronaldo as the bad guy. So making us out of sentiments. A lot of us that feel, you people that feel like Messi is the greatest of all time. I understand with you. Like I feel like there's like a system that has been built to affect your mind, to make you think the way you are thinking. And I would not blame you for it. The only person that I'm blaming in all of this is someone like Victor Bison, who knows the truth but will say a lie, right? I'll say that firstly, let's not go too far. So what I'm doing is to strain the credibility, because all what Victor has said today is that Lionel Messi has won the World Cup. He has won 8 Ballon d'Ors, 3 Ballon d'Ors more than Cristiano Ronaldo. So he's bringing achievements, right, that Lionel Messi has. I'll take nothing. As opposed to Victor Bison, I think Lionel Messi is a fantastic player, but I just don't think he's the greatest of all time, right? Maybe he comes third or second or fourth or somewhere, anywhere there, but not the greatest of all time. And I'll be proving to you why. In 2023, we will not go far. But the first thing I'm doing is to investigate and interrogate the credibility of the institutions that give this award and the level of inconsistencies that exist in these systems. Are we together now? Right. Firstly, let's not go far. 2023, Erling Haaland was amazing. He was so amazing that I wonder how he didn't win the Ballon d'Or that year. And let me help you, Victor, up here. Don't let Victor distract you, Victor. Don't let him distract you. So just pay attention to him. He wants to distract you. The first thing, Erling Haaland in 2022-2023 season, he won the Premier League, the English Premier League. He won the UEFA Champions League. Erling Haaland won the FA Cup, right? He won the Premier League Golden Boot. He was UEFA Men's Best Player of the Year. He was Premier League Player of the Season. In the Premier League, he broke the all-time goal scoring record of 36 goals in a single season. He finished that season with 52 goals in 53 games for Manchester City. Now, Lionel Messi, in that same season, won the La Liga, scored 28 goals and 12 assists. Mind you, Erling Haaland had 10 assists in that season when Lionel Messi had. So, guys, in that season, Lionel Messi scored 28 goals and had 12 assists. So, all of this that Erling Haaland won, ladies and gentlemen, the Ballon d'Or winner for that year was the favorite baby of the institution, Lionel Messi. Now, I'm asking you, I'm not asking you if it's fair or not. I'm asking you a very simple, honest question. If you have a conscience, I don't think Victor Bison has it when it concerns Lionel Messi. But if you have a conscience, I'm asking you a question. If the tables were turned and Erling Haaland had the same stats that Lionel Messi has, and Lionel Messi has the exact same stats that Erling Haaland has, who would have won the Ballon d'Or that year? Erling Haaland or Lionel Messi? I leave the answer to that question to your conscience. Now, the next interrogation I'll be having was as far back as 2010, when the credibility of the entire Ballon d'Or institution was put on the line because of Lionel Messi. In that season, right, Wesley Sneijder won the treble in Italy, the Italian League, Coppa Italia season. Wesley Sneijder went ahead, like in that season, he won the treble in Italy, winning the Coppa Italia, the Italian League. He won the UEFA Champions League. He went to the World Cup that season and scored 5 goals in the World Cup, making him the joint highest goal scorer with the likes of Thomas Muller. But guess what? That season, Lionel Messi won the La Liga, right? And that was the reason he won the Ballon d'Or that year. So again, I'm asking you a question. If Lionel Messi won all of these trophies that Messi said won and was top scorer at the World Cup, who would have been the Ballon d'Or winner for that year? It's obvious. If you have a conscience, it would have been Lionel Messi. Are you seeing? This is case number two that strained the credibility of the institution that gives the Ballon d'Or. In 2014, Lionel Messi was at the World Cup, right? From the round of 16 till the finals, Lionel Messi only... Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Lionel Messi only managed 1 assist in the round of 16. There was no goals from round of 16 to the finals, and he did not win the World Cup, right, in 2014. Now, should I tell you what happened? That particular year, Lionel Messi won the golden ball of that tournament. He was the best player in the tournament that he did not win. The best player in the tournament where he didn't have a single goal from round of 16 to the end of the tournament. And he was the best player of that tournament. And let me tell you how inconsistent this system is. Sepp Blatter, who was the FIFA president at the time, came out and said it was an error for Lionel Messi to have won that. I think that an error happened somewhere. I don't care. But again, this is case number 3 that strains the credibility of the awards that Victor Bisson and his cohorts bring and say Lionel Messi has won. Have you seen how this is problematic and how this strains the credibility of these awards that want to make this that want to use as the yardstick? So in this first minute, in this first speech, I'll only be disproving the vast majority of the metric that is used to measure Lionel Messi. But then, very simply, I would say one thing. I would say if the system, right, can be heavily bastardized like this, right? And I'm going to go one more step. I'll talk about the cases of coaches and nationals of countries and captains who have come out to say the vote that was presented to them on the Ballon d'Or wasn't their vote, right? A manager came and said, "Oh look, I did not vote for Messi. How come?" And when I'm seeing the result there, I'm seeing Lionel Messi there as the person I voted for. And they said, "I did not vote for that person." Like this is this is not news. Because Bishop can come here to come and deny that. I don't think it can because it's factual, right? I've had to do my research and be sure that these persons came out to say, "I didn't vote for these guys. I didn't vote for this person." So my point exactly is very simple, right? I would say that the system itself has been marred by a lot of inconsistencies and malpractice. And for this reason, we cannot say because a player has done all of these things, then he becomes the absolute greatest of all time. So for me, the first thing I'm doing here is to prove to you how the system itself has been sabotaging itself at different level. And Lionel Messi is not the greatest of all time. In my second speech, I'll be explaining to you how the likes of Abedi Pele, Diego Armando Maradona have a heavy stake on the GOAT debate, and I'll tell you why these Argentina and Messi fans are not consistent. So for now, I'll rest my case. Thank you very much.
Okay, so well, my question was supposed to come if you were proving that Ronaldo was the GOAT, but you started by deconstructing. So that makes me have 2 questions, which I would give you 3 minutes as an extended time to respond to. So the first question is, do you think that the level of favor that Messi has enjoyed with this system, Ronaldo has not also benefited from it? That's one question. And then the second question is that a person who actually plays football understands that beyond scoring goals and all, we look for somebody who is like the life of the team, somebody who can create all those chances and all. And that's why you find the likes of Rafael Leo choose Messi over Ronaldo, and a few other actual persons choose Messi over Ronaldo. It is why even in Man City, I think, we see people choose Kevin De Bruyne over Haaland. So the question is, if we are looking at people based on goals that they scored and all, then do you think that the player will also agree to this kind of metric that you are using when we see them reject the likes of Haaland and Mbappe, not because of when we see them accept this kind of persons, not because of their ability to score goals, but because of their ability to create wonderful chances that help the team get goals in all?
Cristiano Ronaldo is an attacker, predominantly a striker. But if you check the list of top assisters in the history of football, he is in top 10. So I don't know what you mean by doesn't create chances. I want you to explain that. He's the only striker, pure striker in that top 10 list. So I'm asking you right now, what else do you want from a striker if he can be among the top 10 top assisters of all time and also has the most goals that any other player has over the years? And I'll tell you one thing, right? You said if Cristiano Ronaldo has not enjoyed the same favor, I'll say without fear of favor, Victor, if you are being objective, for over 15 years, Cristiano Ronaldo has been the bad boy in the media. Am I lying? Like, compared to Lionel Messi, who has been the bad boy in the media? He has been arrogant, has been framed arrogant, rude, pompous. They said he's not this, he's selfish. He has been at the heart of all of this negative publicity. Let me tell you what it does to you and the likes of many other fans that think the same way. They say this guy is arrogant. So before the matches, the referees are already mean to him. They feel like this guy is arrogant. Everybody. So this affects even the voting, right? And this is the next level I'm going to come into. These awards like the Ballon d'Or, are voted for by individuals, and you know what the subjective biases are in these instances. So when you paint a narrative that says that Cristiano Ronaldo is a bad person, is evil, is mean, is rude, is arrogant, by default, people begin to have a level of animosity towards this individual. And it affects when they have to vote, because we are not entirely subjective. Because I've told you, on the metrics of objectivity, I've given you 4 instances that Lionel Messi's awards have failed and has been inconsistent with the rules that have always guided this award before time, right? And I'm also telling you that since it has become a subjective sport when the guys get to vote, because the media has always painted Ronaldo as the bad person. Everybody knows, even Victor Bison will tell you that Ronaldo is the rude person. You can't come and say no. Everybody thinks that's the case. That's the case. Whereas we have hundreds of videos of Lionel Messi being a thug, bullying people, being a snitch, right? Being a poor snitch who wants to just get everything. He dictates to referee when to give the players red cards. Like he plays as a footballer and also a referee because he influences the referee. Victor Pierre, let me tell you, in the World Cup again in 2022 against Netherlands, right? Lionel Messi was already on a yellow card. He made a handball, like he handled the ball. Nathan Ake was trying to defend the ball. He handled the ball with his hands and brought it down. Guess what? He didn't get the yellow card. The referee said no handball. And then Virgil van Dijk was in utter shock. He can't believe his eyes. We all could not believe our eyes. And then that same referee was interviewed. And let me tell you what he said. He said, I spoke to Messi and said that this was supposed to be a yellow card, but he did not want him to miss the finals. And he says, this will cost you your jersey. I'm not saying this is not AI. This is fact. That this will cost you your jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, that match was still ongoing. The match was not even over, but the referee was already concerned about Lionel Messi making finals, that he doesn't want to give him a second yellow card. Are you seeing how funny? So the match is still ongoing, but the referee of the match is already making favorable calls for Messi because he wants Messi to be in the finals. I will not say more than this. I would only say that you have seen how the systems are all together. Because of course, you always the great players. There will be isolated cases like Victor Bison would say. I think it was 2017 or so, the voting time was extended by Ballon d'Or. The voting time was extended, and then people had to. And after that extension, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat-trick, and it was counted, and he won the Ballon d'Or that year. So I'm telling you that this is an isolated case, and of which after the voting was done. The voting was done for both Messi and Ronaldo. It wasn't just extended for only Cristiano Ronaldo alone. But I'm telling you that year, it was undoubted that Ronaldo was the best player in that season. But let's say that is the case. I'm telling you for free that this is an isolated case. I've given you several cases of malpractices that have favored Lionel Messi and made him win trophies, and made him win Ballon d'Or awards, and made him win individual awards because of the fact that these awards are things that people vote for. So I don't know what else to say, but I'll tell you for free that Lionel Messi is the infant, I call him infant FIFA baby, aka Tinubu. And the fans of Lionel Messi are nothing different from APC supporters, because they will say, at the APC elections, we voted, the votes were counted, and all of us, we saw that the votes were counted. So where was malpractice? They are the same WhatsApp people, Messi supporters. They will tell you that there were Ballon d'Or, people voted. We know how votes can be. So if Victor Bison can know that the APC today, they rig elections in Nigeria, even though there's elections, then the same way we believe that the process to get the Ballon d'Or is not very, very legit like Lionel Messi wants us to think. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that very fine response. Yeah, just to correct, the allegation of rigging happened in 2013, not 2017. Now we're going into rebuttals. We'll be going into rebuttals. So, Victor, you have 5 minutes for your rebuttal.
I really don't know where to start, because Isaac is trying to whip sentiments that do not exist. First, he said I was lying. Every single thing I said are stats that are online, verifiable. He said I was lying. Again, he came to discredit the same report I gave that he said were lies. So you could see how inconsistent Isaac is in this conversation. Now, fundamental question is, Isaac is saying that he's questioning the credibility of the voting process that leads to the award of all of these people. So how did Ronaldo win his own award? If you are interrogating the entire credibility, then it also means that we should also question the credibility and the subjectiveness and arbitrariness of the one that Ronaldo won. So what are you saying? I said entirely. If you say that we should take away votes, we should take away Ballon d'Or because people voted, then it means that Ronaldo's Ballon d'Or also goes with all of this stuff. This is very, very important in the conversation. Isaac also says that referees favor, Lionel Messi. I will tell you that referees favor Lionel Messi and also favor Ronaldo. But the difference is that the institution favors Ronaldo ahead of Lionel Messi. Let me explain this fact. In 2013, the same report that he was giving, which he tried to skew, he said Ronaldo scored this and they extended it. No. What happened was they ended voting. That was the first time in the history of Ballon d'Or that they ended voting and extended voting time. Now, what happened was after they ended voting on the 19th, on the 21st or so, Ronaldo scored a hat-trick against Sweden. On the 22nd and 23rd, FIFA released an extension of time for Ballon d'Or. There was no way that would have been the fairest thing to do at that instance, because scoring a hat-trick was a significant influence on the voting process. So you cannot necessarily say that Messi has enjoyed systemic and institutional support, then take away that fact as an isolated case. That is what even gave Ronaldo the fourth one. Otherwise, Messi would have had 9 Ballon d'Ors and Ronaldo would have had just 4. But clearly, the institution decided to favor Ronaldo. Again, leading to this World Cup that just ended, Ronaldo had a red card against Ireland, a red card that would have made him miss 2 matches of the World Cup. But guess what? Infantino decided to waive it. Again, it was a very isolated case that never happened in the history. We can see how clearly these are institutional support that Messi has not benefited from. Messi has only benefited from the fact that, okay, people decide to vote him. Again, Isaac said that these people vote, right? But the institution support Messi. And whatever stuff that happens, fans, players, captains, or coaches, and all of those stuff decide to vote for Messi. Again, we must ask, go and check Instagram, go and check social media on whatever post they make. Messi has far less followership than Ronaldo. Even among the fans in the world, Ronaldo has more fans. The implication is that Ronaldo has more fans that are not technical in the game. But the actual people that play with these people, that understand the technicalities of football, most of them go in support of Messi. They say Messi is better. That narrative is what influences the vote. It's not necessarily the fanaticism that millions of people who do not understand the technicality of this thing actually vote. The people who are actually within this sport are the ones that know the best. If we watch a music show, for instance, I would think that the particular person is singing well, but the judges in that room know the technicalities about music that I do not know. They are the ones to say this person actually deserves it. But even if we are talking about stars, in that same 2013, Messi eventually had 24% of the vote. Ronaldo had 26% of that vote. Imagine if those 3 goals did not come. Imagine if that extension was not done. Clearly, Ronaldo's influence with that 3 goals that he scored against Sweden would not have turned that table against in support of him. So it clearly says that clearly, if Ronaldo has been, he has been a bad boy within the system. But the case is, why are you not a bad boy in the system when you always want to claim goals that are not yours? Bruno Fernandes will score a goal. Ronaldo will take his head close to that goal. It's not touching. Ronaldo will claim the goal. Players that have played in the same team as Ronaldo would actually score a goal. Ronaldo will raise his hands and say that the goal is offside. This is a terrible thing. The videos are online. These are not AI videos. The videos are online. He will go online and raise his hands to say they are offside. So those goals will be taken out. Clearly showing that he always wants everything to be about him. Let's understand that regardless of all of this whole arbitrary narrative that we can sell, what is important in football, assuming but not conceding that we take away the entire Ballon d'Or that Messi and Ronaldo have won, which Messi also wins. The next area of consideration is in the actual influence these 2 people have in every match. Who has more influence? Look at Messi has 900 plus goals. Ronaldo has 900 plus goals. Messi has 400 plus assists. Ronaldo has 250. Join both together, Messi beats Ronaldo. Man of the match award. Messi has more man of the match award by a far margin than Ronaldo. These are not things that come by the arbitrariness of vote. It means that even if you want to take away vote and look at the actual influence these people have in the pitch, you can clearly see that this person has won more man of the match award, meaning that he has had more impact in every single match. So even if we are taking away all this stuff, the greatest player of all time should be the person that has had more impact in a team than any other person. Messi beats him clearly in that regard. Isaac said, he talked about the credibility of our talking about Haaland and Messi. These are things that will not come out to real out to you. In all of those things he mentioned, Messi also won his. But Isaac clearly kept all of those things aside and focused on all of these things, all of this pettiness to make it look like they're favoring Messi. Again, you must know that if we are calling out bad officiating, let's call out bad officiating. Ronaldo has benefited so much from bad officiating. In Saudi Pro League that he plays, he's always, because of his presence. This is what happens when a big player comes to a league or plays in a team. Even referees are oppressed. So when you see those isolated cases, you can naturally say that because of the presence of these players, some referees can take those decisions. It happens to Messi because he's the world best. It happens to Ronaldo too because he's in that level. We clearly see that these things are things that we should fight, but we shouldn't say that because Messi is the one that we are focused on now, then we should discountenance the one that happened with Ronaldo. We are saying clearly that the reason why Ronaldo fans will always want to come and watch Messi matches to pick all of those things that happen in Arsenal match, Man U match, but they want to come and look at it and say it only happens to Messi. It shows the falsehood that these guys are peddling. Understand clearly that we call out bad officiating. In fact, the reason why VAR came into existence is to, to complement the insufficiencies of referee. Because a human referee must have imperfections. So if we're trying to call out and reform the officiating system, we must do it holistically. The moment we continue to say Messi is the one that has been favored, then we ruin the entire thing. Again, last, let me summarize. Isaac said that Portugal and Argentina is a bigger team. Let me agree with you that Argentina of Maradona was a bigger team. Argentina of those times was a bigger team. But if you look at the current realities, do head-to-head. Take out Messi, take out Ronaldo from Portugal and Argentina. You can never compare Argentina's team and Ronaldo's team, which is Portugal. There is no comparison. Argentina teams are average players. Go to Portugal. You see, I don't want to mention, we all know them. They have the best players in the world in Portugal, but they cannot use it to even go. If they have to come from the back to even qualify to round of 32. This is what we are talking about, not having control over a particular team. They come and blame the system. Summarily, even if we say the system favors Messi, does it stop Ronaldo from carrying his team to the finals? That is the question Isaac is running away from. It does not. Ronaldo is not able to do that because he has not been doing that in the past. Ronaldo came into the Portugal team, but guess what? He came into the Portugal team with other people. When he started the Portugal team, how many things did he win? It was when the likes of Bruno Fernandes and the new generation of players that are making Portugal what Portugal is. Even the final, the one against France, it wasn't the one that scored. He had injury in the final. It was Edgar that scored that goal. What has Ronaldo even done in Portugal? Ronaldo has not done anything in Portugal. He's just a normal player. He has not won golden ball. He has not won golden boot. He has not won anything in Portugal. So why are you saying he's the one that's carrying Portugal? He has not achieved anything more than every other person in that Portugal team. They've all achieved it together. Ronaldo has not achieved more. In Argentina, Messi has single-handedly achieved for Argentina, unlike Ronaldo in Portugal. Isaac does not have an argument. You start apologizing to us by this
Thank
time.
you very much for that fine rebuttal. Mr. Isaac, you have 5 minutes to give your rebuttal to Mr. Victor. But before you start, if you do have a question, type it in the chat box if you cannot switch on your camera and speak through that. But if you can switch on your camera and, ask your question or give your contribution, please show by using the down panels to raise your hand. Mr. Isaac, the floor is yours.
So when I told you guys that Victor Bisson is one of the most sincere persons I've met, especially in debate, you guys think I'm lying. This same Victor Bisson is telling us that Messi, the Argentina team is not star-studded. They don't have anybody. Like Messi is the only one playing in that team. And I'm just laughing. First off, Angel Di Maria has scored in almost all the finals of every tournament that Argentina has played in. Messi has not scored in all. He has scored in only one. Right? Di Maria in 2008 Olympics, he scored in the final, scored the winning goal. Several tournaments that Argentina has won, Angel Di Maria has scored in those finals. But somehow, they don't have a good team. Victor Opia, that team that won the World Cup had Julian Alvarez, Lionel Messi, Emiliano Martinez, Angel Di Maria, Enzo Fernandez, Rodrigo De Paul, Alex McAllister, Cristiano Romero, Nicolas Otamendi. These are players that Victor Bisson says are not good players. In fact, the Argentina team is a team in shambles, and as such, Lionel Messi is the savior and provider. He's the soon coming king of Argentina. For me, I'm not going to argue. I will just ask him by clear conscience, say these players are below average players. Like he said, I can't even take him seriously. But then secondly, he says Ronaldo has not done anything for Portugal. Well, he has not won anything for Portugal. What has he won in Portugal? Nothing. He has not done anything for Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo is top Portugal high all-time top scorer, right? He won the UEFA Euro with Portugal in 2016, won the UEFA Nations League in 2019, won the UEFA Nations League in 2025. He has been Portugal's all-time goal scorer, right? But somehow, Victor Bisson feels like that Cristiano Ronaldo has done nothing for Portugal. Like I said earlier, before Ronaldo came to Portugal, right? Portugal had the likes of Luis Figo. They had top players, right? But those guys could not. Portugal was still ranked 18 in the world at the time. When Lionel Messi came into Argentina, Argentina was number 2 in FIFA's ranking already. They had already won 2 World Cups. See, it was so bad that Lionel Messi played all his career and could not win Chile. He could not win Chile. Chile, and also that all their fellow thugs in South America, he could not win them, right? He cried and retired, said he could not play again. Then they called him, Victor Bisson and his friends, and the FIFA president Infantino, they called him and begged him and said, come and play, we'll give you the World Cup. And then in a record history, Argentina had 5 penalties awarded in 2022 World Cup. Since when Lionel Messi joined Argentina, they have played 8 penalties. They have awarded 8 penalties in matches. They are almost, I think they are second. They alone in that 3 years is more than the amount of penalties that team like Brazil has had, a whole team has had for in several years of playing in the World Cup. But somehow he wants us to think they are all coincidence, right? That's like what Victor Bisson wants us to think. But then again, I'm telling you how you have seen how these systems work. That Lionel Messi played, and you will not even tell me that he wasn't good at the time. He was a great player, but he didn't win these things. And in that period, Victor, hear the inconsistency of Lionel Messi fans. In that period, Lionel Messi was in the debate for the greatest of all time. Mind you, Pele had won World Cup 3 times, but he was still in the debate. When Cristiano Ronaldo won the Nations League and won trophies for Portugal, Messi had not won at the time. Don't let Victor Bisson distract you. Victor, Jesus Christ, he's putting things in your head. Look at me when I'm speaking. So, see, I'm talking like Ronaldo now. I know people will hate me, will say I'm arrogant. That's the same thing you guys want. You are pushing me to the wall. Please don't. See, guys, and let me say this very, very clearly, right? In all of this that I've been able to point out, I've been able to prove to you that, look, the system itself is one that writes itself. Like, the inconsistency is so lazy. And I'm responding to Victor Bisson's argument, right? And I'll try to show you the players that were in Portugal at the time before Ronaldo came. Well, they're big boys, but guess what? They couldn't bring Portugal up. But Cristiano Ronaldo came in at that time, and then he won the Nations League with Portugal. At that time, Messi had not won any international trophy for Argentina, but he was still in the GOAT debate, right? He was Messi fans ranked him ahead of players like Abedi Pele, right? Or Platini. And guess what? Pele had won 3 World Cups. Then all of a sudden, Messi won the World Cup, and then they say there's no longer debate. And I'm wondering, if World Cup is what defines this thing, how come Pele, who has won 3, is not the greatest of all time? How come? Right? So that means that these guys only keep shifting the goalpost to favor their cult leader, because that's exactly what this has become. Because it doesn't make any sense that Lionel Messi is in a conversation of GOAT for years, and he had not won international trophies for his country. But he was in that argument, he was in that debate. Even when Ronaldo already won trophies for Portugal, even Victor Bisson never agreed that he was greatest at the time, right? But all of a sudden, when Lionel Messi retired and they begged him back and he came to win, then he's the greatest of all time. He's undisputed. If Ballon d'Or determines who is the greatest of all time, then Michael Platini would have at one point been the GOAT, but he was not even put up in that conversation at all because of the way these awards are. But so I'll prove it to you, Pele had 3 World Cups. Platini had more Ballon d'Ors than every other person at the time, but he was not the greatest player of all time at that period. He was not even in the conversation. Even till now, he's not even in that conversation. But guess what? These guys wanted to feel like because of the stats padding, because Messi had won the World Cup and had won more Ballon d'Ors, and all of a sudden he's the greatest player of all time. It makes absolutely no sense. One thing I would say for a fact is that the system, right from time, has never loved Ronaldo, and we don't care. And let me tell you how much of crybabies Messi fans are. Just for 1 week that we drag them, that they are thieves. They record Tinubu and the likes, that these people they are rigging elections, right? And then what do we get? The AFA is threatening to sue everybody to court. They are not even used to it. That they have been so pampered by the media that they could not even take what we, as Ronaldo fans, have been taking for 15 plus good years. We have been on the postal, we have been on news headlines for the longest reason. Everything Ronaldo does is interpreted the other way around. But guess what? Just for 1 week, we drag Messi and his fans. They are treating us to court. I'm not even married. They should just have pity. They have mercy on me, because I really think that at this point, these guys are sore losers. They really cannot take what they've been dishing out all the years, right? And then just for 1 week, they're already threatening court cases and less. I'll tell you for free. I'll say, if the system itself is bastardized, is questionable, then all of these metrics. Because one thing that Ronaldo and Messi fans want to always say, make it look as if you don't think Messi is the greatest of all time, then maybe you don't know football, right? But then these guys were trying to write history in our very eyes, and we will not allow that. I'll tell you, right? The UEFA Champions League, firstly, is the most competitive tournament in the world. Check anywhere. Compare the Champions League and the World Cup. Which is most competitive? Which one is harder? Which has the most quality players, right? It is the Champions League. Ronaldo has won 5. He won 3 back to back to back. He has been the all-time top scorer of the UEFA Champions League. In fact, they call him Mr. Champions League, right? But then, because Messi has won a World Cup, right, that it is not something that we all know what the lottery of bet is. If Messi was born in, say, Nigeria, for example, he would never have won the World Cup. Does that mean that he was not a great player? So the lottery of bet comes into play, that you're in a team, you're in a country that already succeeds in the World Cup before you came. Compared to Ronaldo, who has been in a team who, without him, they've not done anything like that. And when people come up to say things like, "Oh, Ronaldo he's the reason why Portugal failed." Ronaldo was even in the last qualifiers, was the top scorer for Portugal in the just the last qualifiers. So I'm wondering what these guys mean. It's all agenda, right? To just discredit a man who has given his all. Now, I'll tell you why Ronaldo is the greatest, right? In all metric, even people that don't watch football, social media, everywhere, the celebration, these are all things that make a player great, because stats, like I've shown you, are not things that you can really swear about the credibility. But in all of these things, right? Cristiano Ronaldo's huge celebration is done everywhere in the world, in football, in basketball, in movies, on the streets, everywhere. That's how much impact, right? And if you want to take, for instance, individual players that have been motivated by Cristiano Ronaldo, there is so much more than Lionel Messi has. And then you asked a very funny question, Victor. You said, "Oh, some players like Rafael Leao says that Messi, they prefer Messi to Ronaldo." Jesus Christ! There are also 1,001 footballers that think Ronaldo is a better player than Messi. So these are personal opinions of which I respect their decisions. But let me tell you one thing, is that in Spain and Barcelona, they force Rashford to say Messi is the greatest and Barcelona is the best team. They force them. They tell them, "Please, you have to agree to this before you become a part of this team." That's what they do. So basically, what can we say about that? That means that most people that say these things are not even saying it with their full mind. They are saying it because they are under pressure to agree that Messi is the greatest player of all time. But I've given you proofs. Firstly, that the awards are not credible. I've proven to you, secondly, that Ronaldo has been a more clutch player for his country, bringing them to heights they had never been before now. He came to national team when they were 18s. He's leaving them at number 5. He has won the league. Listen, Victor Opia. He has won the league in almost all the countries he has gone to. In England, in Spain, in Italy, now in Saudi Arabia. He has scored 100 plus goals in all of these countries, in all of these clubs, 100 plus in all. Messi went to PSG and they were booing him. He could not even adapt to that team. Then he went to Inter Miami, when he would go and start pad and bully referees and bully players and then get goals. So you've seen that the facts are there. In law, people will say, "Rest ipsa loquitur." The fact word speaks for itself.
Thank you very much for that solid argument. Okay, so we'll be going into the questions in the chat box because I cannot see any hand up at the moment. So we'll be going to the questions and contributions in the chat box. I will start with the contributions that I can see before I go into the questions. From Goswill Etong Obu Abo, we see, he says Ronaldo without Eder has 2 trophies for Portugal. Messi without Di Maria has 0 trophies. Francis Jr. says that the Euros that Ronaldo won, he was never the man of the match in that tournament. He goes for that to ask, okay, where's your fact? So those were contributions. Now, for questions, this one is to Victor, and I want him to respond to it in 3 minutes. So, the first question is, if the Ballon d'Or is by voting and is based on people's preference, then can it be used to justify the best player of all time? Two, if more matches played counted, then why does Mbappe have more World Cup goals in history than both Messi and Ronaldo? These questions are to and he says it's because Mbappe had played fewer World Cup games. He had played fewer World Cup games. So yeah, Victor, Mr. Victor, these questions are for you.
Okay, thank you. So let me assume that the person that asked this question didn't come from the beginning, right? So I will explain. What constitutes the grounds upon which we say somebody is the greatest of all times is the aggregate of all the trophies he has won, both the ones that are voted for and the ones he gets on the pitch. For instance, the goals that Ronaldo has scored and the assists that these people have given, right? So let's assume that we say Messi has his own Ballon d'Ors, but since they were voted by people, their arbitrariness now undermines the credibility. Even if we want to agree to that, it also affects Ronaldo. So let's take out the ones that were voted for. Ronaldo has 5, Messi has 8, right? So let's go back into the real conversation of who is better off on the ball, who has done more. Things like man of the match awards. Man of the match awards are things that we see obviously. For instance, the match against England. You can clearly see that Messi won man of the match because he was the most impactful player on the pitch that day. You could see all of these things clearly, and this is how you now say between Ronaldo and Messi, who has won man of the matches. Ronaldo has 164 goals, 160 something matches ahead of Messi. That is to say, naturally, Ronaldo should have had more assists, more man of the match awards. But Messi has far less than Ronaldo. Messi has more man of the match awards, clearly showing the distinction between these two persons. This guy, Isaac also said that in Barca, they were forcing them to say Messi is the best. There are many Real Madrid players that have come out to say the reason why they even said Ronaldo was the best in Real Madrid was because they wanted to show solidarity with Ronaldo. Same as Man U fans when he played. These are clear instances to show that there are differences in this. So you don't make it look like only Messi that enjoyed from all of those. Even Ronaldo fans, go and run a check across footballers. You realize that Messi's fans are people who are like the most footballers think that go and run this check. They are online. The most footballers feel that Messi is better than Ronaldo. But the people that prefer Ronaldo as a motivational speaker or as a motivator say Ronaldo is the greatest. So to them, they should. Effect says that we shouldn't look at football stats because football stats are not credible. So let's look at Ronaldo's ability to make more people to do SEO. So for instance, Messi does not have a YouTube account, does not have all of those followership on YouTube. So the fact that many people do SEO naturally means that Ronaldo is the greatest. How can we reduce the greatest metric for judging a footballer to the ability to inspire people? Football is football. Nobody cares whether Messi inspires anybody. We don't care. What we want to know is what has Messi achieved in his football history? What has Ronaldo achieved in his football history? Not about motivation. How can you be telling us that we should leave stats and focus on ability to influence people, ability to motivate people, to inspire people? Is that football? Ronaldo should go and win the GOAT of YouTube, GOAT of Instagram. He's going to win GOAT of chiseled body. We don't care about all of those things. But when it comes to football, football is practical. What can this person do? What has he done? Instead, I've always argued that the media is against Ronaldo. Assuming the media is against Ronaldo, is the media also weaponizing their hatred against Ronaldo on the pitch of football? The answer is no. Again, lastly, which is very important, is that Messi, Argentina has been a World Cup team. Argentina won their first World Cup, I think, in 1978. The next was in 1986. Between 1986 and 2022 is 36 years or so. Argentina did not smell World Cup. 36 years. 36 years, Argentina did not win World Cup, and Messi win World Cup and said it's a heritage. How can it be heritage? The last one that won it was in Maradona in 1988 when they had the hand of God, 1986, the hand of God issue against England in the semi-final match or so. This is the clear fact that you are saying, and you are saying Argentina is heritage. Again, he said that he was continuing Molina. Before 2022, who knew Endo Fernandez of Chelsea? Was it not after 2022 that Chelsea bought him? Who knew all of those? Who knew Molina? Who knew Medina? Who knew all of those players? The only person that was there was Angel Di Maria. And guess what? Saying it was Angel Di Maria that made Ronaldo and Messi to win the World Cup. Messi has 66% of the goal, the entire goal that Argentina scored in that tournament. 66%. One player, 66%. All the other players put together. So imagine if Angel Di Maria scored the final, but Messi is the one that carried all of them to that final. What will you see? Because Angel Di Maria scored the goals at the final. Ultimately, it was Angel Di Maria that carried Messi. This is not how football analysis works. That is why, look at it, because of analysis like this that made them to deny Messi the best player of this tournament. As far as this 2026 World Cup is concerned, Messi was the best player. But because of falsehood like this, because of conspiracy theories like this, they now gave to Rodri. Rodri was a great player. He played for Spain, but Spain was an all-rounded team. But for every time Messi stood up for Argentina, Argentina scaled through. Clearly showing that Messi carried Argentina in all of those things. So we cannot compare both. You are saying Portugal was not a big team. Portugal that has people like them, Nuno Mendes, PSG, people that have people like Fernando, Emmanuel, João Neves, PSG. They have Luis, Leah, AC Milan. They have the best squad. As far as I'm concerned, this World Cup, Portugal had the best squad. They ought to have won it. But guess what? Ronaldo made them to fail. Somebody, Ronaldo is a great player. Nobody is denying it. But the truth remains that it is offensive. It is terrible. It is ridiculous for you to say Ronaldo is the GOAT. You can say Ronaldo is your best player. You can like his chest. The fact he does not have tattoo, his body. I think that people can fancy in a particular person. But when it comes to football, when it comes to that round team, the greatest person to have played it is Messi. Because even in the stat you want us to use, which is ball on the field, Messi beats Ronaldo. Even if we want to take away all the stats that people vote for, with Messi still beats Ronaldo. So what exactly is your ground? Is it by his chiseled body? No.
Thank you very much for that fine response. So, Mr. Isaac, you do have a question, but I'll be reading contributions that you have before I go to the question. And would love you to respond to it in 2 minutes. So, from Bison Edo, you hear, he said, this guy is just crying, no facts here. From Michael Mount, you hear, now stats can't count the credibility, Ronaldo fans and sentiments. I did hear basketball and volleyball. He went further to say, this is Roland Bisong. Roland Bisong says Ronaldo is miles ahead of Messi, then has proven it by concurring. Ronaldo is miles ahead of Messi, then has proven it by concurring all the leagues he has been to. Messi's success is only with the Barca team. We all know anyone can play in. Okay, so the question you do have, Mr. Isaac, is does system always fail only for Ronaldo? That's a question from Michael Mount.
He said the question is that the system always fail when it concerns Ronaldo. Well, I never said the systems always fail when it concerns Ronaldo. That's a very, very lame question to ask. But then let's go on to the very important things. I cannot be answering whether the system always fail like when it concerns Ronaldo. Wherever, like Victor Opia, right? Roland Bisong was very, very clear as to how like Ronaldo has conquered all of the countries he has gone to, conquered the leagues, won there in different countries, in different systems, in different places, right? He has gone there, inspired people, right? Influenced people. His shirts. See, being the greatest of all time, it's not just how you play on, because on the pitch of play, Cristiano Ronaldo is the highest goal. Victor, who is distracting you? On the field of play, right? Cristiano Ronaldo is the all-time top scorer, right, in men's football. On the field of play, Cristiano Ronaldo has more hat-tricks, more career hat-tricks than Lionel Messi has. Victor Bisson will come and say, oh, he has played more matches. But I can bet him that Lionel Messi will retire without actually being able to break up this record. So let's not even talk about that. So it doesn't matter. So it's more like he's saying that Kylian Mbappe is the best player in the world because he has scored more goals in 3 World Cups, which is actually a very, very great argument. You can even bring that up because in the World Cup, he has been entirely phenomenal, right? So now, I said something that all of you, Messi fans and Ronaldo and Victor Bisson, choose to ignore. I explained that in 2014, Lionel Messi won the best player of the tournament he did not win. From round of 16 to the finals, he had no goal and no assist. And he won it. So now Victor wants us to begin to cry for him because this year he did not win it, even though he scored more goals than Rodri. So is it that when he concerns Messi, the rule can change? He can switch anytime he concerns him. Anything he does becomes the standard. Because if that's the case, that means that maybe it does goals and assists does not matter anymore, because Messi won it without scoring goals or making or giving assists from round of 16 to the finals. He didn't even win the tournament. Rodri even went ahead to win the tournament. He was the best player in the finals. He had been the best player with the highest rating for Spain all through the competition, right? But then he won it, and look at Victor Bison. He's decrying it. He's crying that, oh my God, they were supposed to give it to Messi. Then I'm asking a simple question. Does it mean that when it concerns Messi, the metric can change, right? But then the next thing that Victor says is that, the Portugal team is a more star-studded team. And I'll ask everybody, that anyone that wants to be objective, right? In when in 2016, 2017, when Portugal won the Euros, the top 10 best players in Portugal were Ronaldo. After I said Ronaldo were Pepe, Rui Patricio, their goalkeeper, Nani, Renato Sanchez, Guerrero, João Mario, Ricardo Quaresma, William Carvalho, Jose Fonte. Those were their top 10 players in that year. That was the year they won the Euros. That was the team that Ronaldo won the Euros in, and he was the top scorer for Portugal in that tournament. He left in the final because of an injury, and Portugal went ahead to win. My point exactly is to prove to you how inconsistent the metrics have always been when it concerns Lionel Messi, right? Everyone that says, oh, look, is he always inconsistent? See, the only argument around Victor Bison had here all the while is that they extended voting in 2013. But I've given 4 or 5 instances where Messi did not deserve to win the Ballon d'Or. Wesley Sneijder in 2010, Erling Haaland in 2023, several other cases where he did not deserve to win it. I've told you about how he won the Golden Ball of a tournament where he didn't score or assist from round of 16 to the finals, right? Several cases, and he is bringing just one. That is coming to say, how come his best arguments are arguments like, oh, how many man of the match award has Ronaldo won, and how many has Messi won? Victopia, listen to this. In Inter Miami lost a match by 4-0. 4-0. And then Messi was man of the match. I'm asking you, Victor, make it make sense. Inter Miami lost 4-0. And then Messi was man of that match. So tell me how the man of the match result is done. Guys, go and check man of the match awards over time. Sometimes they give a player man of the match, like, see this player? Yeah, like, we are all confused. We are all surprised. How come this person won the man of the match award in that match? So we have had several instances like that. So when it comes to say, oh, now man of the match award is not where there's no bias. I'm asking you a question. If a team lost 4-0 and Messi was in that team that was lost 4-0, Inter Miami, they lost 4-0, right? And then Messi somehow was named the best player in that match. Then we need to also question man of the matches awards. And then I'm not whipping sentiments. I'm giving you facts. Is it done? Like, does it make sense? See, when a team loses 2-1, maybe on very rare occasions you can understand a player from the losing team, which is very, very rare, winning the man of the match award. But then for Lionel Messi, they lost 4-0. But somehow he won the man of the match award. So what are you saying? And then I saw a question that says, oh, I'm bringing in volleyball and basketball. Greatest of all time. Greatest is about not just on the pitch of play. He's all-time top goal scorer. He is the most successful player in the UEFA Champions League. He has scored over 100 goals in all of the countries he has played for: Spain, England, Italy, even in Al Nassr. Over 100 goals, all be within 3 seasons. He has scored over 100 goals in all of these teams. But somehow Victor wants to say he's not good with the ball, and I wonder what that means. He's top 10, on the top 10 list of best highest assisters in the history of football. Mind you, he's a striker and he has all of that. And then outside the pitch of play, he's more influential everywhere in the world, has the most following, has individuals who he has influenced far across football. So from football, right, to basketball, to volleyball, to movies, everywhere in the world, kids on the street see this guy's an idol that they look up to, they look forward to. Imagine having that much influence as a footballer on even people in other sports all over the world. And then someone is telling me that someone wants to go to and say, oh, it's about football we're talking about. Greatest footballer of all time. I've proved to you that it's not just about awards. If not, Pele would have won he would have been the greatest of all time. He has three World Cups. Before now, Platini would have been the greatest of all time because he had more Ballon d'Ors. I'm telling you that those things are parts, but they do not form the whole of what to make a player the greatest of all time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that fine response. Let me get back to the question. Why has Ronaldo not been able to prove himself in the biggest stage in football? And he says you should fact check. Pele is the highest all-time goal scorer.
Okay. First off, that person that asked that question, he should be the one to fact check. Pele's goals that were more than 1,000 added goals in friendlies and the likes. Right, those are the goals that were added to him. Goals that he scored against fishermen, good part-time newspaper vendors, goals he scored against market women and the likes. Those are the goals that were added into the goals for Pele. Like, go just check anywhere. Cristiano Ronaldo is the top all-time men's top scorer. I don't even know why I have to teach you that. That's general fact. So now, the next thing is that I think Vera says, oh, that I was reaping sentiments, right? But then that's the point. So everything that the brother has achieved is laid bare. It's also the only arguments that Victor Bison had at first, but arguments about the Ballon d'Or and those awards. So I have to strain the credibility of those awards in and of themselves to prove, right, that those things, those metrics are incredible. The credibility of those metrics have been skewed, right? So that's because everybody knows Ronaldo has scored more goals than anybody. He brought the team. He came to Portugal. Portugal was 18th, brought them to 5th. He has done all. He has conquered in all. I said all of these things. He has conquered in all of the leagues. In Italy, in Spain, in England, in Al Nassr. Lionel Messi left. He left Barcelona to PSG, and he could not replicate those stats. It was so bad that PSG fans were booing him when he's playing, to the extent that he had to leave and go to and look for a farmers league to go and play for, because he could not survive. He could not thrive there because not everybody wasn't praying for him. Ronaldo has had in football. Ronaldo has had more clutch moments. Messi gets missing in finals. Like it is no longer news. Messi gets missing in finals. How many finals was Neymar? Neymar that had to score and do a lot of magic for them to qualify in finals. Messi is best at getting missing in finals. Ronaldo is a clutch player. He scores in finals. Ronaldo is a clutch player. He scores when Madrid is losing from first leg, 2-3 goals. He comes and scores hat tricks and then takes their team to the finals. Right. So when a player comes and says, why has he not proven himself in the World Cup? Then I would like you to understand this particular guy. I really don't know who he is, but I'm trying to check for him. What's his name? I think sorry guys, I'm trying to find him. Yes, I think he said something about I think the Michael Mount guy. And I'd like to look at the nature of his contributions. Their contributions aimed at the individuals. When the last speaker was speaking, by the way, that last speaker, the guy is so good. He did very, very well. I liked your eloquence and your oratory prowess. Mad, really, really amazing, right? When that guy was speaking, his response were, who be this guy? Like, that's not how you argue, right? You argue with clear facts, right? You argue. But what Messi fans do is to give the same sentiment. They make you look like, when you feel like, no, Messi is not the greatest, you don't know football. That's the way they argue textbookly. So I've proven to you guys, right, that in football matters, Ronaldo has proven himself. Champions League is where the top players all over the world come to play their trade. Ronaldo is called Mr. Champions League. But the World Cup is something that no matter how good you are, if you are George Weah, for example, from Liberia, you can never win the World Cup or what have you. So basically, sorry, I'm seeing something about answering a question. What question is that, please? Okay. I don't think it's for me. I don't think it's for me. So basically, guys, what I'm trying to say in essence is very simple. When it concerns football, in and of itself, they want to make it look as if Ronaldo is not. Jesus Christ, what these guys want to do is to rewrite history in our very eyes. Ronaldo is the top scorer of men top scorer ever. In international duties, he has scored more international goals for country than any other player in the world. He has won more Champions League. He's the Champions League all-time top scorer. Champions League is the most difficult tournament in the world because of the quality of players in every level of the Champions League. They play against the top players of all over the world. He has won in those stages. In those stages, he's even called Mr. Champions League, right? Messi has part with Girona and Eibar in Spain, and all of a sudden he wants us to think he's the greatest of all time. Now, when he left PSG and Barca, I went to PSG, he couldn't replicate it there. So I've proven to you that aside longevity, he has been able to adapt to different countries, to different nations. He has been able to adapt clearly and do very well in those countries. So when you say things like, oh my God, we are talking about football. Now, let me argue football. In football, he has done all of these things, right? He has scored goals, he has given assists. As a striker, he's top 10 best assister in the world. So what else do you want from him? And you're telling me that, oh, you are talking about football. Yes, about football, he's amazing. Then, outside football, he has had so much impact, so much influence in the world generally. So when you say a player is the greatest, please, guys, when it even comes to skills, who is even the most skillful player between Messi and Ronaldo? Messi is a dribbler. He glides past defenders. Who is the most skillful player between Messi and Ronaldo? Guys, between Messi and Ronaldo, Ronaldo is a more skillful player. And this is not sentiment. But then, between Ronaldo and maybe Neymar is the most skillful player. When you say skillful player, who does more skills with the ball? Who will do more leg over and step over? Who will do more of those things? It is still beside Ronaldo. So we talk about football, like, right? He's still one of the greatest and all of that. So for me, basically, on football, on the pitch, off the pitch, Ronaldo stands out any day.
Mr. Isaac, please, we'll have you guys go against each other once again, but then we need to respond to the hands that are up. Thank you very much. We are strongly behind time. So I will just ask a question for both speakers. And please, we have to stick to time. You are going to use 3 minutes to respond to this. The question comes from Franklin Ubi, and it's for both speakers. It says, what are your metrics for the measurement of the GOAT? Is it just what anyone thinks? And can I as well think King Pele of Brazil is the greatest? So we want you, both Isaac and Victor Bisong, to give us their metrics for determining who is the GOAT of all time. Who is the greatest player of all time? Sorry. So, Mr. Victor, you'll be going first, then Isaac, then we'll round up.
Thank you very much. I feel terrible that Isaac would say that we should judge the best player or the greatest of all time by the ability of members of the world or people in the world to do SEU, right? I don't do SEU. The greatest basketball player has nothing to do with all of those extra basketball activities. If they say Michael Jordan it is because of his achievement in basketball. I don't know why these guys want to change the goalpost now. The greatest player, the greatest of all times. Maybe when we say greatest of all times, they think it is greatest of all times in the world, including presidents, including all of this. But that's not what we are talking about. In music, the greatest of all time is Michael Jackson because of the achievement he had in music. In football, in basketball, there are the greatest of all time in all of these events. And in all of these events, the greatest of all times is defined by the amount of achievement, the trophies they gather. The entirety of his case was to discredit this achievement. It means that he recognizes that we cannot go to all of those things like SEU and all of those arbitrary sentiments to now judge who the greatest of all time is. But on achievement, that's why he spent his entire speech discrediting the achievement. So it means clearly he recognizes that achievement is the parameter upon which we can use to judge who the greatest of all time is. What these guys are saying is that we should judge somebody that has more followings on Instagram, somebody who has things that are not associated with football. As far as football is concerned, if you are saying that all of the votes that happen are arbitrary, then it means that there shouldn't be anything like achievement in football. Let's just play football and have fun. But if football is to achieve results, it means the only metric for determining who the greatest within the ambit of football is the person that has gotten more results within football. We cannot bring all of those other things as part of the reasons. Say he has inspired people, he has done this. Football is result. If you think Ronaldo has scored 1,000 goals, let it translate to Golden Boot. Let it translate to Man of the Match award. Let it translate to winning tournaments. Let it translate to all of those things. You cannot approbate on one hand and say goals are not necessary, and reprobate on the other hand and say goals are necessary. Let's achieve one particular thing in the conversation, which is clearly that Messi has won more titles, more achievements from the top to the very last. Ronaldo does not have that kind of record. Hence, Messi is the greatest of all times in football. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that very fine response. We will be going to Mr. Isaac. Please, 3 minutes. Tell us your metrics for determining who is the good. Because I think at this point, these two guys are retiring. We're now looking at Mbappe, De Bruyne, sorry, not De Bruyne, Mbappe, and the rest of them who are coming up. What are your metrics for determining the GOAT status?
So, very simply, my metric for deciding who the greatest of all time is firstly a player who has stayed in the game for the longest. Cristiano Ronaldo has had an unmatched longevity, and not just an unmatched longevity, is that he has been performing at the heights. He has been performing at the heights of achievements. He has been scoring more goals. In his first season in Al Nassr, he was the highest goal scorer in the world. He scored more than every other person in every other league, right? But then secondly, his ability to adapt to different situations and still come out tops. In Juve, he scored more than 100 goals. He is their all-time top scorer. The same thing he has been in Real Madrid. He has broken those records. Look, in Real Madrid, Ronaldo has more goals than appearances. Like, that is unreal. He has more goals than appearances in Real Madrid. So this is about his ability to adapt to different leagues, right? Thirdly, his ability to beat the system when the system does not want him. Ability to go to where people think he should not strive, go there and thrive and do amazing things. The fourth metric is his ability to come from a national team that has not achieved anything in football for several years and take them to six World Cups, right? Win 3 trophies with them and made 4 finals with that team that has never won any of those things or been in that space before. That's metric number 4. Number 5 is a player who has dominated completely the UEFA Champions League. And this is where I'm proving to Mr. Franklin Ubi, right, that in this instance, Ronaldo edges Pele. He has scored more than the amount of goals he has scored. He has scored so many goals. But then the UEFA Champions League, he scored the Champions League for a reason. World Cup is community match. Is what they do because all of us, we are a global community. Let's come around and do a football festival. The World Cup is a football festival of the world. Champions League is a trophy that brings champions. So in all of the leagues in the world, the top teams from those leagues in the world come together to play in the UEFA Champions League. And Ronaldo is called Mr. Champions League because he has won more Champions League. He has won more men's player award. He has excelled. He has scored more goals in Champions League. He is Champions League all-time top scorer, even in the Champions League. This is the 4th metric. So the 5th metric. So with all of this, now the last and the most important one also. So when Victor comes to say we are whipping sentiments of other things and not football, I am telling you for free that I have proven to you all these 5 metrics I've mentioned have been in football. So if you give Victor the chance to come and talk again, he will say he cannot say any reason why Ronaldo is the best player. And I'm wondering, all these I've mentioned, you know the hear him. You just don't want to hear him, right? But then lastly is the level of impact and influence that he has. Ronaldo fans want us to push this thing away from that, but that is a very crucial one. Is the fact that a footballer has an ability to not influence just footballers, but influence basketballers, volleyballers, kids all over the world, people in churches. He influence people everywhere, and he is now a metric for hard work. Everybody will tell you that you have to be as hardworking as Cristiano Ronaldo. All of this are proofs to the fact that this guy, beyond the field of play, he has impacted people's lives, even in businesses. People see punctuality as Ronaldo. All the footballers that have played with him have come out to say that this guy is hardworking, he's punctual, he's dedicated. All of these things are other principal facts that has proven that this guy, beyond football, is entirely exceptional. Then somebody came and said he's a national fan and then he loves Messi. Now, as opposed to Messi fans, I respect him to say he's a national fan and he loves Messi. But there are very, very, very few Arsenal fans who love Lionel Messi. But then, my point exactly is very simple. Ronaldo has done all of these things in all of the leagues that he has played in, even in the international competitions. He has excelled in football, and even outside football, he has also excelled exponentially. But if you even check it, Lionel Messi is not even second. No, he's not second. Mr. Frank Nubi has mentioned Pele. Pele is second. After Ronaldo, we have Pele. Messi can be struggling for that position with the likes of maybe Neymar and the like for fourth, fifth. But Ronaldo and Pele are the top player, the top one and two greatest players that ever played football. See, this is the gospel, right? And everybody needs to believe and agree to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that fine response and those metrics that will be, I mean, if you go through the chat box already, you can see multiple arguments as to why each person picks each side. So we cannot begin to go over the messages in the chat box or take all the contributions that needs to be taken here. But one thing is sure, both players are wonderful players, and both players have contributed immensely to the game of football. And we hope that the new set of players that exist, the likes of Yamal, Mbappe, and all of them, give us the kind of football that these guys have given us for over a decade. I mean, for over a decade, that we had a World Cup in this year, Mbappe was doing crazy things, Haaland was doing crazy things, but we spent time debating whether a 41-year-old guy is better than a 39-year-old guy, or a 39-year-old guy is better than a 41-year-old guy. So these are crazy things. But yeah, we thank them for what they have done to football, and we also thank our debaters who we can rank them as the GOAT. I mean, we should even do a debate between who is the GOAT of head-to-head. Is it Isaac or Victor Bison? Because they are both wonderful debaters. And this also goes further to tell you that head-to-head should also be ranked as one of the, should be ranked as the greatest of all time debate sessions, where you see people dissecting motions that you never believed that they could dissect. So yeah, the way we can spread it, just like football has been spread, is that you go to our page on Facebook and on Instagram and you share and tell people about, I mean, Isaac ended with this is the gospel, people need to believe. Beyond believing, people need to subscribe to this. So please like our channels, follow our channels, and invite people to our head-to-head sessions, which holds every Saturday from 8 to 9 p.m. Thank you very much for joining this head-to-head session. We've come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much. See you next week, Saturday.